Houses given to 30 families affected by the Mitotumula disaster. Housing loans for Dahampura and Pansalbatta waived off. President to West Waste Management in a central authority. Ministry of Health to take action against institutional heads of dengue breeding grounds. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Sandru Ferdinando.
And I'm Rahna Farooq. Let's start off with a look at your top story for tonight. President Maithripala Sirisena instructed to issue an extraordinary gazette notification to declare garbage disposal as an essential service. This order came into effect from midnight yesterday.
The gazette, which made these duties essential services, has been issued in line with Clause 17 of the Public Security Ordinance. The gazette focuses on steps that are being taken when disposing, collecting, transporting, storing, preparing, segregating and disposing garbage collected from households as well as that which is collected from the road and related services. Accordingly, it is now an offence to threaten, obstruct or delay anyone who is engaged in or block any property on which these persons are engaged in the aforementioned duties by force or in a defamatory manner, verbally or in writing or by any other means. The Gazette stated that it is also illegal to encourage and influence people in any manner or to provoke them, resulting in obstruction being caused to those performing such duties or to influence these employees to relinquish their duties. It's also an offence to offer employment opportunities or accept such opportunities to cause hindrances to those who are performing duties in relation to garbage disposal. According to the ordinance, anyone who is guilty of such offences mentioned, or if there is reason to believe that someone was responsible for such a crime, they could be arrested by a police officer at any moment, even without an arrest warrant. Anyone thus arrested could be sentenced to rigorous imprisonment by a magistrate following a trial.
Houses were presented to a group of families that were affected by the Mitotumula disaster this evening.
The President handed over the deeds to 30 families at the Ministry of Disaster Management this evening. The government has planned to provide new houses to 98 families who lost their homes to the disaster with an allocation of 392 million for this purpose. These houses will be provided from the second phase of the Laksana Sevana housing complex in Salamulla, Kolonnawa. The complex comes under the purview of the Urban Development Authority.
ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම මේ වෙලාවේ හැටියට අපි සන්තෝෂ වෙනවා මොකද මේ ඊටාම ඉක්මනින් ලබා දීම සම්බන්ධ
ජනතතුමාට පින් සිද්ධ වෙනවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම පින් සිද්ධ වෙනවා මේ අතුර අරගන්නකොට එක දෙයයි ඇති වුණේ අපිට ගයක් නැති වෙච්ච ගයක් අපිට හම්බ වුණා කියන එක දේ
හම්බුන ගේක ගැන සන්තෝෂයි ඉතින් සන්තෝෂ වුණාට තවත් කට්ටිය ඉන්නවනේ එතන.
Today, the President also presided over a meeting held at the Disaster Management Ministry to review the progress of providing relief measures to the Mitotumula victims. President Maithripala Sirisena instructed to implement a program to solve the issue of solid waste management in the country and vest the power with a central authority in that process.
We need to have a program to resolve the issues surrounding the disposal of solid waste in the country. Therefore, I call for suggestions from the Minister and the officials in order to prepare a new institution with a proper legal framework. We must meet every week for this purpose. I believe that if we meet for an hour, we can finalize the facts in about 2 to 3 months. We must summon the respective institutions, ministers and MPs as well as the officials. We will start this from next week.
A media briefing was held at the Ministry of Disaster Management today to create awareness on the compensation being provided to those affected by the garbage dump collapse.
We are evaluating the damages caused to the houses. It will take around 3 days to complete this process. We will also be providing 250,000 rupees in order to procure appliances and goods for the houses. We will be providing an allowance of 50,000 rupees for a period of 3 months for each family that is relocated from the high-risk areas. We will also provide a 10,000 rupee allowance for the transportation of their belongings. Those who do not wish to relocate the houses that are given will receive compensation. We will be informing the public about the decisions that were made through the Divisional Secretary and the Grama Niladhari officer. The Ministry of Housing has meanwhile agreed to waive all housing loans obtained for houses in the Dahampura and Pansalwate areas that were damaged.
The technical assistance team that arrived in the country on per the directives of the Japanese Prime Minister visited Mitotumula garbage dump for a second day today.
The technical team inspected and studied the upper part of the garbage dump today. The 12-member team comprises of geotechnical engineers, specialists in landfill waste, specialists in city engineering and public health, as well as other experts. Security forces headed by Major General R.A. Nugera were briefed on the findings of the Japanese technical assistance team for over 5 hours. The security forces have been instructed to refrain from using inflammable substances in close proximity to the dump, as the methane gas level of the dump had increased to 16%. They also instructed that those who operate heavy machinery in the area to be cautious. Newsfirst also spoke to the team leader of the Japanese technical assistance team.
You all are the technical team that has arrived from Japan to carry out study at the Mitotumula garbage dump and the tragedy that happened there. What has your initial study revealed so far?
After we have arrived at yesterday morning and we have visited the dumping site twice. We have collected information and consultation with Sri Lankan government. The private experts moved some equipment to measure the gas level. In that sense, we have collected some data. Now we are going to prepare the report. So something may be mentioned in the report.
The operations to remove the debris continued today. Parliamentarian Sunil Handunethi arrived at the Nagahamula and Anuhatawat areas today and looked into the well-being of the residents. With the collapse of the garbage dump, the main drainage system has been blocked, causing the area to be inundated. The President wants he can take over the Ministry of Finance and use all the money that is being wasted to find a way to recycle the waste and to create a plan to dump the garbage.
මිනිස්සු කබලෙන් ලිපට වැටුණු බව ඒ දර්ශනය පෙළ හොඳටම සාක්ෂි දරනවා. මම අද කතාව පටන් ගන්න එතන.
උදේ දැකපු මිනිස්සු අවශ්‍ය වෙනකොට ජීවිත වෙන අවස්ථාවකට ඇතිවෙනවා. මගේ පුතාගේ ආගෝතේ මට දෙකට ඇවිල්ලා කකුලවල වැඳලා ගියේ.
ඔයාගේ නම මොකද? ඈ? පිලිනි. පිලිනි කී වසරේද? ඉස්කෝලේ ගිහින් ඉවරයි. එදා මේ සිද්ධි වෙන දවස් ඔයා කොහෙද ඉන්නේ? को अम्मा खाते के दिन तो नंदे नंदे को
हॉस्पिटल के नागे लांगी स्पीकर
मुनावे लाद
नहीं
तो कोट मुना जाना के तो बड़ा को नस्किन के මිනිස්සු ගේ එක ඉල්ලීමයි තියෙන්නේ මෙවැනි විපත මෙවැනි ඛේදවාචකයක් තවත් පරම්පරා ගණනාවක කවදාවත් සිදු නොවන්න වග බලා ගන්න.
The Colombo Additional Magistrate has issued an order with conditions which prevents the dumping of garbage on a private land in the Kotikawata Amuleriava area. The order was issued when the complaint made by the owner of the land was taken into consideration.
The complainant charges that the Pradesh Sabha has begun dumping garbage on his plot of land located behind the Soma Devi College in Mullaeriyawa illegally. He points out that the dumping of garbage at this location affects the residents living in the area. Thereby, Colombo Additional Magistrate Ranga Disanayaka ordered the Divisional Secretary of the Kotikavatta Mullaeriya Pradesh Sabha to stop disposing garbage at the location. Meanwhile, the Kasbawa Magistrates Court issued an order today preventing a protest scheduled for tomorrow in close proximity to the Karadiyana garbage dump in Piliyandala. The order was issued after taking into consideration facts presented by the Piliyandala police.
Visuals from the protest staged opposite the Dompe Waste Recycling Plant yesterday shows the involvement of a former Western Province Chief Minister Prasanna Ranatunga in the protest. A threat levelled by Prasanna Ranatunga during his tenure as Chief Minister has also come to light.
මට නිලධාරීන් දෙන්නේ රජයේ නිලධාරීන් දෙන්නේ කයිලා කතා කරලා මේ අපි දෙන්න අත්සන් කරලා ආව කරන්න බෑ කියලා කිව්වොත් ඔයාගේ ලොකුකමට නොකර හිටියේ. මම කිව්වේ සෙන්ටෙන්ස් එකට මට පොඩ්ඩක් මම එක වෙන්න අමාරුයි කියලා මම කිව්වේ. හරි සමහර නෑ ඒක අනිවාර්යයි. ඒක නම් අවශ්‍යතාවයේ තියෙන්නේ ඒක කරමු කියොත්. මට හොඳ හෝ නරක මම කියන දේ මෙතන වෙන්නේ මේක එකම අහන්නේ කියන්නේ ඉන්නේ. තාම අහන්නේ. මම තාම අත්සන් කරලා මම කරන්න ඕනේ මම කියන්නේ. නැත්නම් එන්න පා අතපය කැඩෙන්න ගහනවා මම ඊට පස්සේ. මට හොඳ හෝ නරක මම කියන දේ මෙතන වෙන්නේ මේක එකම අහන්නේ කියන්නේ ඉන්නේ. තාම අහන්නේ. මම තාම අත්සන් කරලා මම කරන්න ඕනේ මම කියන්නේ. නැත්නම් එන්න පා අතපය කැඩෙන්න ගහනවා මම ඊට පස්සේ.
මේ ප්‍රශ්නය විසඳන්න ඉඩ නොදී මේකට මැදිහත් වෙලා.
There are certain politicians who are out to exploit this incident for their own political gains. We saw people like Prasanna Ranatunga getting involved yesterday, and he was the Western Province Chief Minister, yet did he solve this issue? We have heard him betray state officials in filth because they refused to sign documents for one of his projects. The politicians did not come forward to resolve the issues of the people, but they have come out now. This is a serious issue.
Following an event held today, journalists questioned Minister Arjuna Ranatunga.
The Meethotamulla garbage issue is not something that came up recently. It started during the time of Mahinda Rajapaksa. They were in power for a long time and they couldn't do anything. Today, they are pointing the finger at the current government. Don't forget that it was Sri Lankans who died in this incident. This is not a time for politics. Instead of finding who is responsible, we should work hard to prevent recurrence. The garbage issue is not something that can be resolved in a day. We have not been informed. The President will take a good decision. The President will have decisions with the Prime Minister and take necessary steps because this government was formed based on the need to the people. If certain ministers are not suitable, they will be changed. Questions were also raised regarding comments expressed regarding the minister's father. It's good that Mahinda Rajapaksa remembers my father at least now, because when he was alive, Mahinda disregarded him. There's no need to talk at length, but we need the people to know who worked for him and who didn't. The people of Minuwangoda will be able to provide a better answer than me. The minister expressed these views during an event held in commemoration of late Reggie Ranatunga's 80th birth anniversary. Meanwhile, addressing a media briefing held today, Minister Rajitha Senaratne commented on steps being taken to curb the spread of dengue. Schools will reopen on the 29th. Inform the parents and ensure that the premises of the schools are cleaned before the 26th. This program has to be implemented once a month. We have also agreed to inspect the premises using environmental police and PHIs. If we find dengue mosquito larvae, we will find charges against the principal of that school. If mosquito larvae is discovered in a certain state institution, action will be taken against the head of that institute. Construction sites are another location where mosquito larvae can be found. If you do find larvae at a construction site, then we will take steps to suspend the license of that construction company for a month. All vessels that are not being utilized at fisheries harbours will also be destroyed.
The foundation stone for the Pethial Ara Bridge was laid today by Minister of Housing and Construction, Sajid Premadasa, under the Samata Sahana programme. The minister expressed these views during the event.
The main topic today is the garbage dump. It is a tragedy, but the President and the Prime Minister will provide the leadership to provide compensation to the people that have been affected. We will dedicate ourselves to this. When we took power in January 2015, we took over mountains of garbage as well as volcanoes. Today, we are in a situation where we cannot even pay the interest for the loans that were taken.
Three petitions have been filed so far against the proposed foreign exchange bill. Now appearing on the Newsline program this morning, Attorney at Law Nagananda Kodituaku commented on the bill.
Who is this behind this foreign exchange bill then?
You know, this bill says,
this
bill is presented by the Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Why is he presenting the foreign exchange bill?
Earlier he talked about the super minister.
Right.
In a way, he is trying to take the entire control of the finance into his hand.
But he's already got the central bank.
Central bank alone is not good enough. This exchange control law, in power, it's full of powers. It controls the public finance in the sense foreign exchange and gold. And the monetary board is the regulatory authority of public finance. All that will comes to the hands of the finance minister. Okay, and now once it is done, it is in his hand, and the parliament will become absolutely important there. If it becomes law, this bill becomes law, then there will be a big issue, because all these penal provisions provided in the current law will be removed. And even if the government changes...
And who will be in charge then? The Minister of Finance?
Minister of Finance, but the bill says the Prime Minister.
Right.
If it occurs.
So in short, I put it to you that the Prime Minister appears to want to become the most powerful person in an economic sense.
Exactly. That's why they call about the Super Minister. He is trying to do that, and he's doing the same thing in his party also.
So this is a kind of backdoor way of becoming the president.
That is what that is what he did know. He has no confidence to contest any election.
Is that you say he's got no confidence? Is that why whenever he's whenever he leaves the country, he appoints someone like, say, John Amaratunga or someone like that to lead the party? Why? But the party has assistant leaders and deputy leaders, but they're not given the position of being acting. Is that because he shows the acute discomfiture and a lack of confidence?
Lack of confidence. Why?
But why?
Otherwise,
why?
Why? Because now, you know very well, he hang on there. How long now?
How
many times he lost elections? How many at the end he realized he can never win the confidence of the people. No young leader can become a party leader. Everybody has to go behind this particular individual. This is a very sad state of affairs.
State Minister Sujiva Senasinghe, speaking at the Global Empowerment meeting at Harvard University, elaborated on Sri Lanka's progress achieved through good governance.
In Asia, people don't like change that much. And when we bring industries, they always object, protest. So it's a delicate balance with the development and satisfying the masses also. So a solution for this is to have industrial zones. So a particular zone will have all the approvals. The approvals will be faster. Objections will be less. So the development will be faster. So that's one area that we are concentrating. Around Hambantota port, about 3,000 acres in Hambantota, about 6,000 in Monaragala, and about 2,000 in Galle, and about 2,000 in Matra. And a Chinese company, a Thai company, Roshana, just approached us, and they are in Sri Lanka at the moment, looking at about 2,000 acres in Kalutara for an industrial park.
Your life, our news.
It has been reported that Sri Lankans who had gone to Malaysia in search of employment are now stranded with no way of returning home. Newsfirst was able to contact some of them who returned to the country.
Sri Lankans should not fall victim to the fake agents who promise jobs in Malaysia. They make fake promises and defraud people to the tune of millions. If you are going overseas for employment, prepare your visa in a proper manner. Do not suffer like we did. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment says that 13,481 Sri Lankans have gone to Malaysia in search of employment. The Deputy General Manager of the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment, Priyantha Weerasekara, commented on the situation at hand and the process that needs to be followed before seeking employment. Over 13,000 Sri Lankans have gone to Malaysia for employment. Sadly, many have gone through other individuals or unregistered institutions and are now facing numerous difficulties. If you are travelling overseas, it is mandatory to use a registered foreign employment agency. Before going abroad, make sure that you sign a work detail agreement and ensure that you go through all the details. The issue arises when you don't get what you were promised when you are in Malaysia. When this is the case, immediately inform the Sri Lankan High Commission in Malaysia or make a complaint with the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment. Then we can take legal action if that is a registered agency. But if it is not a registered agency, we can only direct authorities to the issue.
There are a few incidences happening and in certain places they are not happy with the setup there, so they want to leave. So there are procedures to leave. So many of them used to come to us, those who got stranded. We always take care of them, and they can always come to our embassy. Embassy is open, and we are also going to have a consular service in Johor Bahru. So we are negotiating with the employer and trying to get their passports released, because passports usually will be handed over to the employer once they are here.
2 young males bathing in the Kalani River had drowned in the Pugo Goda area. Viewer discretion advised. Police said the victims were bathing with friends last evening when tragedy struck. The rescue attempt was captured on camera by a Newsfirst reporter.
At least 20 people have died after a lorry rammed into a group of farmers staging a protest in the southern Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. The farmers were outside a police station in Chittoor district protesting against illegal sand mining. Police said that the driver of the truck appeared to have lost control of his vehicle, but locals allege that he deliberately drove into the crowd.
One of the biggest motor racing events in the country, a Fox Hill Supercross 2017, is to flag off tomorrow in Diathalava.
Fox Hill Supercross 2017 is organised by the three armed forces together with the Ministry of Sports. Sri Lanka's ace racers are expected to take to the tracks tomorrow and compete for bragging rights and be crowned champions. Time trial and practice runs took place this morning in Diathalava. It was not a perfect day for some of the races, with some crashing off course. Pasindu Piris is the reigning champion in the car category, while Ishan Disanayaka plans to continue his run as a champion rider. There will be 10 events in category at this year's event. An under-13 age category motorcycle event will also be flagged off tomorrow. The 250 plus competitors will include several overseas racers.
Droves of tourists are flocking to Fairyland Canal to witness a behemoth of iceberg that has planted itself just off the tiny town's shore.
We leave you tonight of the massive chunk of ice located off the east coast of Newfoundland in an area fittingly dubbed Iceberg Alley. Have a pleasant weekend. Good night.